Time will tell. Sidestepping from politics, let's look at page 3 of the Standard, and there's a man here who's making a difference. Poor man praised for building access road single-handedly. Now this man has got his hoe, his spade, and he has ensured that a road has actually been done in an area single-handedly. And why I like this particular story, Kevin, is the fact that if a man like this can actually do a road on his own, what is our government doing? What are people, in high places with decisions that they can make to ensure that Kenyans live a better life doing when this man can do this on his own?
Mike, that is really the big question, because then why would citizens want to take over the role of the government? It presents a case of frustration. It presents, in my view, a case of disenfranchisement. It presents a case where citizens feel that service delivery is not as accelerated as they would expect, because I haven't gone through the story, but one thing that then presents is whether there have been concerns raised by the citizens or the people, residents around this area towards the quest for the government to be able to put up a road, whether there are documentations that then present petitions for their request of that road to be done. And if those have been taken to the government or to the relevant authorities, then the question that begs is, why would citizens really want to take up the role of the government? But again, it's one of the former U.S. presidents who said, do not ask what your state can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And so I think that Mzee Nicholas Mushami has come up to be able to set that pace and example. And every day we see people, even young people all over the country, trying to, build, put stones and maram into potholes all over. But then the question that begs is, all the resources that go to the counties, what is that money doing? What is national roads, county roads doing insofar as creating spaces for citizens to feel the presence of government? Because a road is as important as infrastructure that then opens up spaces for people to access services, go to the markets, access health services, go to schools. So if there is no road and citizens take up the role of government, then the question is, why would you want to have that government? Why would you want to do that?
But hats out to Mr. Nicholas Mushami, who's done this single-handedly. And I love the caption there. It says that, he says, and I quote, there are women who cannot go to church because they have to walk more than 3 kilometers. But with this new road, they will now only walk 500 meters. So for him, it was not about himself, but it's also the community. And he wanted the ladies to have an opportunity to go to church. So he has done that. Congratulations, sir. But also, that should be a wake-up call to the leaders, particularly in that area. Let's look at page 4. And this morning on the newsroom, we're going to be talking about agenda setting. And we do know that one of the things that has been hitting the headlines for the last, let's say, month and a half or so is matters to do with graft. But now we find it on page 4. Members of Parliament, 80 billion was spent on non-existent road projects. Just after we've come back from 80 billion has disappeared on supposedly road projects, but the roads are still MIA.
People are actually coming up to build their own roads. I think this is taking Kenyans for granted, because I know that Kenya Roads Board and other various agencies have also been able to do an audit. And at this point in time, we have the war on graft. So I believe that this is something that just needs not to be reported on the papers, but that we need to see action having been taken, and that action is going to be as responsive to the needs of the citizens. Because then the question that begs is, what does it really cost to tarmac a road? What do you require, and how do we involve the citizens in that process, so that ultimately when you come over to hand over the road, people can say that, yes, this is our need, it is going to address ABCD concerns, this is the amount of money that has been put to the fore, this is the bill of quantities, and as citizens, you are part and parcel of this process. Because, Mike, every day as County Governance Watch and other organizations that engage in leadership and governance, we train citizens to hold their governments to account through things that are tools that we call social audits and governance indices. And those are some of the questions that we ask them to ask. So before it gets to the level of MPs questioning some of these non-existent roads, the question is, what is the feeling of the citizens on the ground? Because those roads are going to be responding to their needs at that level.
All right, and well, there you go. But let's look at another story, page